I woke from this dream on September 21st, 2017. It was a normal day, just like any other. I was home. My parents, myself, and two other girls who were family members were with me. They were younger than myself, and we were all discussing the coming of Christ, because the girls and I had an argument over the simplest thing. And my dad was pointing out that Christ's return is near, using the fact that we argued over something so simple as a sign. It made us really think, and then my parents went to sleep. We went outside, me and the girls, to further discuss the situation and find a resolution. Both girls dug 3 holes while we were talking. Then it seemed as though the sun was going down. So, in concluding our discussion, I said, "Okay guys, it's getting late. Put the dirt back over the holes and let's go inside now." They were obedient, and on our way back inside, I checked my watch and it was 4:04. I didn't understand what that meant. And before I could process anything, I heard the girl on the farther end scream, "Look at the sun! I was just watching it, but it's gone." I checked my watch again and there was nothing at all. My first thought was that the day has come when Christ returns, the day we've been talking about for so long. And in panic, I looked back in the sky and the colors were a stressing burnt orange, red, yellow, and it was like long streaks layering the sky. And everything it shone on, including us, had an orange hue, but there was no sun. I had just enough time to run to my parents' room. From outside, I knocked insanely fast on their window, and I noticed it was no longer opaque. Everything was transparent. My mom was already up, and she looked at me. It was as though she knew what I was telling her, and her face said, "Yes." Then I ran to the back, where I saw my dad standing outside, and he said, "Yes, Kayla, he is here." And before I could gather my thoughts to look back at the girls or even say a word, from every inch of the sky, as far as I could see, an overpowering sound of loud trumpets blowing on one accord, and so that all can hear. And almost directly following it was the sounds of the largest and loudest melodic choir I've ever heard, surrounding the entire stretch of the sky, singing, "He is here, holy, holy, he is here, amen." And I looked at my dad, who was crying with all he had within him, "Jesus, please, Jesus, please." And I could tell at that moment he was crying out for the souls that we knew that hadn't made the decision to be safe from God's wrath by giving their lives to him. I saw a screen before me, and it was all the faces that I smiled with, spoke with, hugged, said I loved, but didn't stress the point that their soul is important to them. It was the worst feeling ever, and the pounding sound of the angels singing while escorting Jesus down and his people up to him was getting louder and louder. I felt every word, and there was nothing at all that I could do about it. Just before I saw Jesus through the clouds, I heard him say with the saddest voice with authority I've ever heard. He said, "I told you." And before I could react to the next words that would come out of his mouth, I was out of my dream. Don't wait until our watches don't work anymore. Make your calling and election sure. The message is no longer time is running out. The message is he is here. 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 16 to 18 says, "For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a commanding shout, with the voice of the archangel and with the trumpet call of God. First, the believers who have died will rise from their graves. Then, together with them, we who are still alive and remain on the earth will be caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Then we will be with the Lord forever. So encourage each other with these words. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 51 to 53 says, "But let me reveal to you a wonderful secret. We will not all die, but we will all be transformed. It will happen in a moment, in the blink of an eye, when the last trumpet is blown. For when the trumpet sounds, those who have died will be raised to live forever, and we who are living will also be transformed. For our dying bodies must be transformed into bodies that will never die. Our mortal bodies must be transformed into immortal bodies." Lastly, Matthew 24 verse 30 to 31. This is Jesus' words. He says, "And then at last the sign that the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the peoples of the earth. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he will send out his angels with the mighty blast of a trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven." Jesus is coming quickly, and his reward is with him. It will happen any day now. Be found watching for him, working for him, and waiting for him. God bless you.